got to get to the airplane. Okay.
When you think of family tradition, you're probably thinking about Christmas or maybe an annual trip that you do with your family. However, my family tradition is slightly different, as it is family time that we value. This is because I grew up in a household with two workaholic parents, which also meant that I got to spend very little time with them. That is why we value every little moment that we got to spend together. Now, having workaholic parents doesn't sound too terrible until you realize that that time that you do spend together is very little. My father's passions always got in the way of absolutely everything, whether it was Christmas, Thanksgiving, or even birthdays. To make up for his absence, he would usually give me $500 in cash, and as a 7-year-old, that doesn't sound too terrible until you realize that when you grow up, your priorities change, and that money can only do so much. Now, when I was 10, I decided to confront my father regarding this because I got pretty tired of this reoccurrence. And I asked him to please change his priorities, but of course, his passion for his job was always far too greater than that. But it wasn't until last year when my father finally figured out his priorities, and it wasn't until last year when something made that light bulb turn, and it wasn't until last year when my father got sick, which came to a surprise to my mother and I, considering he was always a very healthy individual. As the doctors described it, they found a brain tumor, and they said it was centrally located, which was another term for impossible to remove and another term for it's time to get your priorities straight. This was around the same time that college was around the corner, which meant that I got to spend even less time with my father. And as a result, we picked up this new tradition over summer, which was we would eat at Pop's Cafe, a little cafe near my city, and we would eat breakfast there every Sunday. And when I go back home for the holidays, we continue to keep this tradition up to date. In summary, being away in college has also helped my father realize how important family time is. So this sickness, I think, because this sickness was like a blessing in disguise. It allowed me and the rest of my family to realize that we should value each moment in time, and we should make every little moment count and last forever, just like a tradition does. Thank you.